Okay guys, so today I want to do a which shoe for you comparison between the Altra Torin 6 that I've owned for a good while, that I have 380 miles on mine, Altra Rivera 3s that I have now put a little over 60 miles on. They're both shoes from Altra that have their foot-shaped toe box. So in some ways they're very similar. They both have a stack height of 28 millimeters of foam. They're both zero drop, meaning that the heel and the forefoot are the same stack height. So there's a lot of similarities. Now where the shoes are different, the Altra Torin 6s, you'll see have a wider forefoot shape than the Riveras. The Torin 6s have their standard width, which is kind of the medium width from Altra. The Rivera 3s have the slim fit, so they're definitely narrower through the forefoot. Also, the foams that are used, the Torin 6 uses the Ego Max, 28 millimeters of Ego Max foam. The Rivera 3s actually use the Altra Ego, the original Ego foam. So those are some of the big differences. The meshes are different too. This kind of has a little bit thicker mesh on the Torin 6s, but I think it still breathes pretty well. The Rivera 3s has a very light dual mesh, multi-lever mesh that I think really breathes very well. As far as being everyday trainers, I think they both work really well. In the weight category, I'm measuring in men's size 11.5. These came in at like 9.98 ounces on the Torin 6. The Rivera 3s come in at about 10.25 ounces, so they're about a quarter ounce heavier in my size. In some respects, I lean toward, I love the fit of with the wider toe box on the Torin 6s. I will also say that the foam feels a little softer. That Ego Max feels a little bit softer, but it has enough bounce to it that you don't feel like you're losing too much energy from the softness of the foam. So you can still move in these pretty quickly. You can definitely pick up the pace, but I find these extremely comfortable for recovery days and long run days. They're just very comfortable, but I don't feel like I'm like running through mud. They're not so soft that they steal all my energy. So I love these for long run and recovery days. The Riveras, on the other hand, are still very cushioned. I can run long in them. I prefer not using them quite as long because I feel more comfortable having the wider toe box of the Torin 6s for really long days. And the slim fit of these, I just don't find quite as good for really long runs for me personally. But for an everyday run, these are great. I find the Ego foam is actually, even though it's still very soft and cushioned, I did a 12-miler in these the other day and they worked great, but it's still very cushioned, but I find the Ego foam is actually a little bit more responsive to me than the Ego Max. So it's a little even easier to pick up the pace in them, even though these shoes weigh a quarter ounce more. So they're both very good daily trainers. I find the Rivera is probably, if you don't mind the slimmer toe box, I found with the foam and mostly I guess the foam and the upper, I find these better for like just everyday shorter runs where I can pick up the pace. If I'm going to do a recovery day or a long slow day, I definitely lean toward the Torin 6. As far as just wearing them around, I find them both very comfortable. If I'm working at the running store and I'm going to wear them around all day on the concrete, I probably lean toward the Torin 6 just because I like the wider toe box and I like the softness of the foam. But both very good shoes. I'm enjoying them both. So it just comes down to what you prefer going forward. So that's kind of my comparison of the two shoes. It's kind of up to you as to what you're looking for. If you found the video information useful, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in any more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and keep moving.